Hello and good morning if you are watching me live. Welcome, even if you're watching me live or catching this at a later time. I'm so encouraged by this message, and I'm encouraged by those of you who have been getting up early to just join me for these morning encouraging words. So, today I want to talk about when you're in that place where you know you're ready for that next step, where maybe you've been praying about increase in a certain area, or you've just been praying to sustain, to have peace of mind, to wake up each morning and not be overwhelmed or stressed around certain things. Or maybe you're not overwhelmed and stressed. Maybe you've just been in a place where you know that you're ready to step into more, or you're ready to take care of what you have access to on another level. So this year I've been talking about establishment. And if you did not catch the most recent message that I put out, go check that out because it's going a little deeper into First Peter 5:10. But today I'm going to be coming from Matthew 25. If you want to read along with me, and if you haven't done so, subscribe, especially if you're watching this on YouTube, or even if you're watching on a different social media platform. Follow, subscribe, get connected. My goal is to just get up in the morning with you all, and we will join and chat here in our live chat if you're watching this live. But I really believe in getting up early. And I've noticed so much of a change in my life when I started getting up early. And early is different for all of us. Some of us have different schedules, but it's really allowing yourself enough time to get quiet, enough time to feed your mind, enough time to outline your day before you have to be anywhere. So, no more rolling out of the bed and rushing, whatever time that looks like for you. But for me, it's 5 a.m. To stream these messages to you all. So, I just want to do that little that update, not so little, it's actually a big exciting update, that if you want to start being intentional about your mornings and starting your day off with power, then encourage you to be a part of this. Subscribe here, follow me here, so that you can get up in the mornings, and we have a community going in this comment section. So join the community, drop comments, leave a message if this is encouraging to you. So I'll be right back, and like I said, we'll be reading from Matthew 25, so you can go grab that, and we will get into today's message. All right, welcome back. So Matthew 25 is what we're reading from. And this is such a good message. You can read all of Matthew 25. I feel like I always tell y'all that, but read it for yourself. Get your own interpretation, because I know oftentimes, especially when we're speaking scriptures and reading the Bible, so many people will get caught up arguing over who interpreted this right and who did that right. So study yourself, study to show yourself approved, to understand these things for yourself. But this is the parable of the talents. I feel like I've shared this one before, maybe even several times, because it's just such an encouraging, powerful steps, like powerful blueprint and direction. So, for it's just like a man going, and it's talking about the kingdom of heaven. For it is just like a man going on a journey, who called his servants and entrusted them with his possessions. To one he gave 5 talents, to another 2 talents, and to another 1 talent, each according to his own ability. And he went on this journey. The servant who had received the 5 talents went at once and put them to work and gained 5 more. Likewise, the one with the 2 talents gained 2 more. But the servant who had received the 1 talent went off, dug a hole in the ground, and hid his master's money. After a long time, the master of those servants returned to settle accounts with them. The servant who had received the 5 talents came and presented 5 more. Master, he said, you entrusted me with 5 talents. See, I gained 5 more. Well done, good and faithful servant. You've been faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things, said the master. Enter into the joy of your master. The servant who had received the 2 talents also came and said, Master, you entrusted me with 2 talents. See, I've gained 2 more. His master replied, well done, good and faithful servant. You've been faithful with a few things. I'll put you in charge of many things. Enter into the joy of your master. Finally, that servant, the servant who had received the 1 talent and hid it, came and said, Master, I knew that you're a hard man, reaping where you have not sown and gathering where you have not scattered seed. So I was afraid. I went out and hid your talent in the ground. So see, you have what belongs to you. You wicked, lazy servant, replied his master. You knew that I reap where I have not sown and gather where I have not scattered seed. Then you should have deposited my money with the bankers, and on my return, I would have received it back with interest. Therefore, take the talent from him and give it to the one who has 10 talents. For everyone who has will be given more, and he will have abundance. But the one who does not have, even what he has will be taken away from him. Y'all read the whole thing. There's more before and after this, but I want to get into that because I feel like it's just such an encouraging and powerful. It's encouraging until you get to the weeping and gnashing of teeth when we haven't lived our life in the way that God has called us to live it. And I'm like laughing, and it's not funny. It's a very serious thing that we think we have all this time and we put things off and we hide our talents. We hide what God has called us to do. We hide where we're supposed to be showing up, but we expect increase. And on a more tangible level, because it sounds good when we read it in that way, but how do you apply it to your real life? I was thinking about this because I get to work with so many amazing entrepreneurs, visionary people, speakers, authors, just leaders in their industry. And what I find is that before people really start seeing results come in, before they start seeing like the up leveling, it never fails that their lifestyle changes. Their lifestyle changes. And what I mean by that is I've noticed most of the people that I'm working with, like it goes hand in hand. When their business starts growing, their fitness, they're taking better care of their health, their wellness, their surroundings are more organized. They are literally just good stewards over as many areas as possible in their life. And the fruit comes on top of that. So I want to just talk to you all about that this morning because, or this afternoon, whenever you're watching this right now, I want to talk to you about this because so often we can be praying for that next thing. We can be praying for increase. We can be praying for establishment, stability, and the increase. And there's nothing wrong with that. As we see, like our goal, I believe, is to increase your experience here on this earth, to be a vessel, to let your light shine before others so they'll see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven. That's just so important to me. And when we don't take care of what we have, it's hard to see that increase. As you saw in the example of the talents, the one who had 2 increased it. The one who had 5 increased it, and then they received even more. But when we hide what we have, when we put it in the ground, when we don't perceive it, we lose even what we have. And if you've ever had a gift or a talent, and you hear the cliche saying, if you don't use it, you lose it. But it's so true. Whether you have a gift or a talent, if you think about this, I'll talk about athletes because I love sports. Even though I wasn't the most sporty person growing up. I didn't have the talent, but I was a cheerleader and I could cheer for you on the court and understand what's going on. But when I think about athletes in the off season, there are some that you will see, even if they're just doing conditioning, even if they're not like hardcore into the sport in the off season, you can tell those who went away from the regular season and stayed with their conditioning, stayed with their workout, stayed with the consistency, and those who literally clocked out. Because when it's game time, when it's go time, when it's time to get back in the arena or get back on the field or get back on the court, it's so much more difficult if you've been completely not taking care of what you needed to be taken care of. If you have not been faithful over the opportunity, someone can come and steal your spot. Period. I think about that because, again, you saw that the one who dug the talent in the ground and did nothing with it, it was taken from him. And so that same thing, if you've ever learned a foreign language, or maybe like if you're learning like new languages, if you just absolutely stop reading or speaking in that language, or and I've known people who it was their native, like I can think of several people who were bilingual since they first started speaking because they grew up in a multi language household. And as they got older and their parents stopped using the initial language that they spoke, as they got older, they started forgetting it and they no longer could speak that language with fluency that they actually grew up speaking. And that just speaks so much to what I want to encourage you on, to take care of what you have. Take care of what you have access to. Perceive the opportunities that you have, because if you don't, you will soon look up and it's gone. And I think about this because when I was sharing this message, when it came to mind for me, I was just looking at certain things from a financial perspective and how I have, hate to admit it, but I do. I have a tendency to forget about certain bills. I will never forget times where I've walked in the house, get ready to hit that light switch. Lights are out. This was like years ago. I have my close friend and I talked about this because we were like, man, got to get on that auto pay or something. But in that time, I was all about, oh, let me get my goals in place and let me grow. How can you grow? How can you receive an increase in an area when you're not even taking care of what you have? If I didn't have the foresight at that time to pay my light bill, how was I going to see increase in any other area? And when I think about that, I realize that so often when we think that things are being held up because of someone else, because of a hater, or because God's not listening to me, or whatever it may be, sometimes it's literally just a taking care of little stuff problem that we have. Sometimes we just need to take better care of what we already have. Sometimes that next door is going to open for you when you're doing a better job with the door that you're already in. You're sitting in a room right now, you're in a place right now. And if you're not taking care of it and you're not perceiving the value that you have and you're not adding value, that was the other thing that was so great about the 2 talent holder and the 5 talent holder. They added value, they increased it before more even came. And sometimes we can get in this mindset that once more comes, that's when I'm going to do more. I can't tell you how many times I've heard people say, when I get 10 million or when I get 100 million or when I get whatever, that's what I'm really going to show up for my community. That's what I'm going to do so much for my family. You just wait. When the truth is, whatever you're going to do with $10, whatever you're going to do with 100, however you're going to, your character at 1,000, your character at 10,000 is only going to be magnified the more that you receive. And that, to me, it's so powerful, because if you have a heart to be a giver, which I believe we all should be charitable, in balance. I won't even get into that, but we should all be charitable. And when we're in that place, it's not always about money. Maybe you don't have the 100 million, but can you give your time? Are you always pushing people away? Do you have things that maybe you don't need it anymore, but instead of taking the time to give it out or seek out someone that could benefit from it, you just don't see it as a big deal? How you are spending your time on a daily basis, how you're taking care of what you have access to, I believe is a direct indication of where you're headed. And so today's message, I really just want to encourage you all and let this be a wake-up call. And I feel like this is a wake-up call. If you're just waking up and catching me live, let it be a wake-up call that it's time to take care of what you have. Many of you have been given amazing career opportunities. Many of you are in business right now, and you have access to customers and clients that their lives are going to change, but you are just casual about it, kind of showing up. Hey, I'm just going to do a little something, but that's it, and not fully bringing the value and bringing the increase. And whatever you do, and I talked about, I feel like this was the last message I put out, so go check that out. But just working, like going all in. Actually, this is on, if you haven't subscribed to my podcast, Marketing God's Way. That's where I talked about this. So I'll put that link up, Marketing God's Way, and you can hear all of these things in a little more depth. But that's it, y'all. I'm going to just wrap this message right here. But I'm just encouraging you all today to be faithful over little. Little is how you carry yourself out today. Little is how you spend your time today. Little is how you take care of your environment today. Little is how you're showing up for your family today. Little is how you're showing up for yourself today. Little is your quiet time, your prayer time today. Your little is how you're trusting God today. Your little is how you're showing up and pleasing God today. Your little is how you're letting your light shine today. It's not some out in the future when this comes and that comes and this happens and that happens. It's how you show up in the moment. So that is it. That is a message, y'all. I feel like a pastor because I done closed this message like 5 times, but that is a message for you all today. And I want to leave you with this as I talk about just being intentional about your day and your mornings. This has been a long time coming. I've been wanting to do early morning streams for forever, and I've done them and kind of like stepped away, but just join me in the mornings. And our goal is to get focused. And so when I say focus, I'm specifically speaking about the focus formula that I have, the Focus Fast. And if you want to learn more about it, you can go to thefocusfast.com. I'm just going to give you a snapshot. It's 5 things that you want to do to be intentional about the start of your day. And if you go to thefocusfast.com, you can hear the story about why I talk about that, or you can probably find a video. But the F is to feed your mind each day. You just fed your mind with this message, getting to your quiet time, reading a book, learning a new skill, getting into your Bible, whatever that looks like for you. The O is outline your day. Don't just let your day happen to you. Even if it's just 2 or 3 top things that you want to get done, just write down, outline how you're going to spend your day, prioritizing what has priority. The C is condition your body, whether it's going for a walk, doing an intense workout, doesn't matter, but just taking time to get your body right, to feed your body, to take care of your temple. The U is urgency with tasks, not wasting your time doing things that have no value. In fact, if there are things that you can delegate out, just learning how to maximize what gets your time and your attention. So that's the urgency with your task. And the S is see yourself successful. Get quiet. Write down your goals each day. Think about some of the things that matter to you. See yourself in a place of success. Start speaking life over your life, not just waking up complaining and letting your day happen to you. So that is a quick snapshot of what focus means. So it's time for us to get focused. Join me in the mornings. The earlier you get up, usually I'm done with those 5 things by like 8, 9 a.m. So it pays to get up early if you can, but do this according to your schedule. All right, y'all, that for real. I'm done. If you want to stay connected with me, you can do so across social media at Erica Empowers. Tell someone, tag someone. Don't forget, if you haven't, subscribe here. That is one of the best ways that you can support, and drop a super chat or something if you're on a live streaming platform that allows for that. Then hey, sow into the vision if you'd like to, or you can just go get books and things like that. All right, y'all, I'm out. Take care.